Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing amazing. Today I have my batchmate Swapnil Ghosh from IIT KGP with us, who had bagged an intern at Quadeye. Hello Swapnil, how are you?
Hey Mitadru, I am fine. What about you?
Yeah, I am doing quite well too. So first of all, congratulations, man. And how is your intern work going currently?
Internal work is going fine. Today is weekend, so that's why I am free to interact.
So okay, that's cool. So for the coding rounds, which platforms exactly did you practice?
I mostly used to practice on code forces and lead code. So apart from that, I also used to solve problems of quotient sometimes, and I also used to do GFG problems for basic DSA questions.
Okay, so would you mind sharing your ratings on those platforms? Like,
Uh, in code forces, my rating is 1947, and I got that after a huge amount of practice and consistently giving the contest. In lead code, I don't remember what is my rating. In code chef, my rating is around 2200.
okay.
Yeah.
So, like, during the summer break, you practice. And so, like, how did you prepare and how many problems do you think is sufficient for someone who is sitting for software companies for top companies? Software interviews of
Uh,
top companies.
actually, I didn't practice much code forces problem in the summer break before the CDC internship because I have acquired the tag of candidate master before that. So in the
Okay.
summer breaks, I used to mostly practice lead code sheets that are many lead code sheets are available because companies mostly focus on the DSA problems and not the CP. So for that, lead code is a better platform than the code forces. So I used to solve at least 20 problems a day because otherwise you will not be able to cover most of the concepts.
Okay. Okay. That's cool actually. So, can you go ahead explaining like how did you prepare for quant interview? What all the things should someone keep in mind to prepare for quant, and like what are the topics and stuffs that one needs to study? Can you explain?
Actually, the HFT companies come for two roles, systems and quant, and for the two, and I have prepared for both the roles. So, as
Okay.
I have backed the intern in the systems role, so I will mostly share the topics that are relevant to the systems, and apart from that, I will also share the quant topics. So, for
Yeah.
systems, the most important topic that in each and every company focus is OOPS because it is extremely important, and so one must study this. Apart from that, one must also study computer networks, operating systems, and then there are some questions that are very popular, and most of the companies recently asking these questions. So, a student should also prepare that.
Okay. So, can you go ahead explaining more about the questions which were asked in the interview?
So my interview consisted of 4 rounds. In the first round,
Okay.
I was asked advanced OOPS questions like virtual functions, virtual tables, early binding, late binding, and shared pointer. So these are very important because most of the companies ask these questions nowadays, and these are the OOPS question one must prepare. So to prepare for this, one must study learncpp.com because this is the best known source.
Yeah,
And
I heard about that.
yeah. So for a student who is opening this website for the first time, it can appear overwhelming to them. But we don't need to study all the chapters. So I have mentioned here that which chapters they need to study. So if they just go through these chapters, then it will be fine for him to clear this round and to answer all such related questions. In the second round, they mostly ask puzzles and quant questions. So for solving, so for being to solve these questions, one must solve all the puzzles from the brainstealer.com, solve the book 50 challenging problems in probability, solve the book Heard on the Street, and solve chapter 2, 4, and 5 from the book A Practical Guide to Quantitative Finance Interviews. If someone is covering all these problems from these three books and one website, then he will be able to clear even any quant interview also.
Okay, that's cool. That's quite interesting to hear.
Yeah. In the third round, they asked me ECP questions, uh, and I was able to solve that because that question was not very hard. It was like code forces 1700, 1800. So
Okay.
if you have practiced enough from lead code and code courses, then I don't think that the CP or DSA round will be a problem.
Yes, definitely.
And yes, and in the fourth round, they have asked me questions related to computer networks and operating system because in any systems interview, they always ask these questions. So for me, the questions I faced from computer networks was the questions related to TCP. So the questions were very much TCP protocol specific because they really wanted to know that how much I am aware of this protocol. Because in my
Okay.
resume, I have also a project related to this. So they wanted to judge that whether my resume is correct or not, or like that. In the
Yes.
operating system, they asked me numerical questions from memory management. So I was able to solve. So, if anyone wants to study computer networks and operating system, so they can refer to the IIT KGP course materials. They're really good. And if
Okay.
they just go through the course materials, they will be able to solve most of the questions.
Okay. So was that all for the interview?
Yeah, that was all for the interview. But many interviewers in different companies asked also different questions, which are very popular. Though I have
Okay.
not faced that, but I have prepared that. Like the most important questions among this is implementation of smart and shared pointer. Most of the students don't prepare for this, and that's why they are not able to clear many interviews. So this is very important, and the implementation is available in a medium. A student can search and get that. Then the
Okay.
implementation of STD unordered map. This is very important. This is implemented by a hash function, but the exact implementation is really interesting, and that is available in the code courses blog. And sometimes the interviewer is interested in knowing the exact implementation, so I think that a candidate should also study that. And apart
Yeah.
from and apart from that, the implementation of STD maps and STD sets is also a hot topic because the implementation of one of this is by red black tree and the other is by AVL tree. So these implementations are available in YouTube. So one should also prepare this.
Yeah. Even in my interview, unordered map implementation was asked, although I was not able to solve that properly. So I think this would be some very important questions.
Yes, yes, yes.
So for interview call in the Quadeye, the CV shortlisting was done. So like, what advice would you give to juniors to prepare a very attractive resume to stand out to the recruiters?
Uh, in case of CV shortlisting, what the companies first see is the CG. So they
Okay.
mostly do the shortlisting in the CG basis. So for the juniors who are sitting for the CDC in this summer, they don't have anything much to do. But
Yeah.
who have 1 or 2 more academic years before the CDC, I will tell them to focus on the CG because that's extremely important in the CDC process. And
Okay. Okay.
also, you should have a good code courses and code shape rating because interviewer are really impressed by that. And then you should give some projects that are very interesting and different from the others because if everyone is giving the same projects, then the interviewer might feel that it is just a course project and they are giving that. So giving a completely new implementation based projects related to computer networks and operating systems, uh, that can be really good.
So like, how many projects did you give in your resume, and what were they for the topic? From which topics which were they from?
Uh, I gave 5 projects, one from computer networks, one from operating systems, one from DBMS, one from OOPS, and the other one is from QA,
Okay,
Computer
that's really great.
Organization and Architecture.
Okay. Okay, so can you like talk about like what are your interest area and what have you worked on so far at IIT KGP? Like, can you talk about your like research work or BTP, something like that?
Though my interest is in systems, so I spend a lot of time on coding and studying OOPS
Yeah.
related topics and like that. But my BTP is on algorithms. So in
Okay.
my BTP, so my BTP topic is on opinion diffusion, where I have to
Okay.
study some graph related algorithms and see that how a opinion in a graph can propagate.
Okay. That was quite interesting to hear, and like you shared a lot of insights. And I think this would be sufficient for anyone who is sitting for any software company or like controls. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your presence.
Thank you, Mitadro. Bye.